Before we get started here, I gotta apologize for having my head cropped out of the picture. Got a new phone and, well, no excuse. I just screwed up, bottom line. But hope you guys enjoy regardless. Hey guys, welcome back to the O&D Life, where we get orange and dirty. Well, anyways, last time I used my wood chipper, I got done, went to grease everything so that it'd be ready for the next time, blow out the inside. And I went and gave this a roll around, and I noticed that it was catching right there, just catching a little bit. Now, it was actually just a little bit worse. But what I did is I put a hook here, lifted up, and tightened up some of my bolts. I figured maybe it had sagged just a little bit. And then I thought, well, I tightened it and checked it again, and it's still catching just that little bit there. And it's just the one, just this one. Maybe right around and through there. And so I am going to loosen these up, torque them to the proper specs. I'll share info from my manual on that. And we'll talk about how important it is to do your pre-inspection and tighten up your bolts every, I think the manual says 10 hours. So, because things are gonna vibrate loose. So again, just a big reminder to tighten up your bolts. Just watched a video from Hank over there at Hamiltonville Farms, and he paints a line on his bolts to be able to visually see whether or not they backed off a little bit or not. So I think we're gonna have to do something like that as well. I think that's a great idea. All right, guys. So let's do it. I'm gonna loosen these first. I'm testing out a new mic. So, well, actually it's my earbuds, new software, got a new phone, downloaded some new software that allows me to choose my Bluetooth mic. And so I'm hoping that it's gonna be a decent quality, so that I don't have to be right next to the camera. I'm going to loosen these up. I do want to just see how much of a difference it makes. Because I do need to actually measure my bolts to look at the manual and see what torque to set it to. So we'll do it all the way it's supposed to. I'm just curious, now that I've loosened that, if it's seems to be catching just a little more. You know, just having that loosened up there. So let's back off all these. And I'm going to pull one actually out most of the way. Did you guys catch O&D, not O&D, hey, that's me, GP Outdoors' follow-up video where he tightened his set screw? Mine are tight. You know, we have different chippers, but I think they're all pretty much manufactured in the same place. These that are coming from overseas. And he talked about having some shims to help balance it out as well. So it'll be interesting to see what he comes up with. I think it'll benefit all of us that have these. I am going to, yeah, let's see how, yeah. I mean, I can barely get it to go. So definitely that makes a big difference there. I'm going to lift it up and tighten things down back to the specs. But before I do that, I did want to check the width of this bolt here. So I do have a new phone, the Samsung S20. But this software that allows me to use my Bluetooth mic on my earbuds is FV. Oh, I don't know. I'll have to look it up. I can't remember. But let me get my whatchamacallit. Wouldn't you know? Batteries are dead. Okay, so I was not able to, well, I didn't feel like, I realized that there's some markings right here on here. So it's not going to be the digital readout, but that is just fine. So let's see the width of that bolt. Looks like a 14 millimeter. So, and what we'll do is we'll get the manual. This is a metric. Okay, so as you can see, A is the bolt diameter. We're 14. We need 103 pound-feet of torque. 103 pound-feet. Okay, so I went ahead and lifted, gave it a little bit of upward pressure. My thought is that when I tighten it down, it will be free in case there was a little bit of play in those bolts. I realized, you know what, I might try and pull it a little bit to the side that I'm going, so you can see me trying to move it on over a little bit, just because it was not bottoming out on the very bottom. It was kind of on the screen there. It was bottoming out to the right and the bottom, down at the bottom there. So I thought, well, let me get a little bit of angle of pull opposite of that and then start to tighten it down. I did need to get my torque wrench. The wrench I'm using right now, the socket, does have that adjustable angle on the head, made it a little easier to get in there. And when I went to my torque wrench, then I realized, wow, I don't quite have the angle that I need. And it did become a little bit more difficult. I ended up having to get an extension and use that. And then there was still one that I was not able to get to with my torque wrench because I have a deep socket. So really I need to get a shorter regular socket that is that size. But that did indeed free it up. I think I just tightened it up. I haven't even gotten to the torque wrench yet. I will mention in the manual, it does talk about machine break-in. I got my green screen, so I got a picture up behind me. That's kind of cool. It looks like I need to work with my filters a little. It's a little shaky in spots, or not filters, but settings. I think that might even be blowing. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. If you get your manual, so I got my manual here. There's a section here, machine break-in. After 1 hour of operation, it does suggest torquing all fasteners and hardware. I did not do that after my first hour. You know, it talks about checking the condition of the rotor bearings, check the condition and clearance of the twig breaker, rotor, and stationary blades, adjust or replace as required, check for entangled material, remove all entangled material before resuming work, and lubricate all grease fittings. So that was after just the first hour. Should have done all that. And then after operating for 10 hours, so every 10 hours, kind of like your loader, you need to repeat steps 1 through 5. So that includes torquing all the fasteners and hardware. That's why it ended up starting to rub, because I read the manual, but I wasn't following it. So you got to make sure that you're following your manual there. So I just thought I'd point that out. Take the opportunity here. All right. I'm going to let it play on through with some chipping action. And actually the last 3 minutes of it here. So this is about 6 minutes of chipping action, different angles. The last 3 minutes, there are some pretty cool slow motion and super slow motion shots. So enjoy. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed. Torque and tighten those fasteners. Maintenance is going to go a long way and keep you from having trouble with your machines. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed it. O&D out. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't. Check out the playlist. I've updated my playlist, kind of divided it up based on, either implements or mods. And then some of the implements, I've got separate playlists specifically for that implement that I've done. And slowly, I'm starting to get everything moved over into their individual playlists. So I think that's it. Check out the Facebook page and the Amazon store. See if there's something in there that you might like. All right, guys. O&D out.